You know, I've learned something about life, something simple, but profoundly true. You have one life. Just one. And the biggest tragedy isn't failing, it's settling. Too many people wake up every morning doing something they don't love, surrounded by people who don't inspire them, living days that all feel the same. They say they'll change tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes a lifetime. And one day, they look back and realize, they were never truly alive, just comfortable. But comfort is a silent thief. It steals your ambition, your drive, your purpose. It whispers, "You're fine where you are." And slowly, it convinces you that fine is enough. But it isn't. Fine doesn't fulfill you. Fine doesn't make history. Fine doesn't build legacies. I want you to ask yourself something right now. If your life ended today, would you be proud of the way you've lived it? Would you feel that you gave your all, that you used your voice, your gifts, your heart, or would you feel like you held something back? See, the truth is, every one of us has a choice. We can live safely inside the lines, doing what's expected, staying where it's easy, or we can step out, take ownership of our story, and decide that mediocrity is not our destiny. You were not born to be average. You were not created to live a small life. Inside every person is an extraordinary potential, a spark that's waiting for permission to ignite. But it doesn't come alive through comfort. It comes alive through courage. Through vision. Through action. I'm not here to tell you it's going to be easy. It won't. But I am here to remind you, the life you dream of is waiting for you on the other side of fear. And once you take that first step toward it, once you commit to never settling again, your entire world begins to expand. So I want you to stay with me through this entire message, because today isn't about motivation. It's about awakening. It's about shaking off the weight of good enough and deciding that your life will mean something. Because you only get one. And what you do with it, how you live it, will determine everything that follows. There comes a moment in life when you realize that time doesn't slow down for anyone. It doesn't pause to let you catch your breath or wait for you to feel ready. The clock keeps ticking, and whether you rise or hesitate, whether you chase your dream or let it slip by, the world moves forward. That's why the most dangerous thing we can ever do is convince ourselves that we have more time. Because we don't. Life is fragile, unpredictable, and fleeting. The truth is, every single day is an opportunity that will never come again. Once it's gone forever. So many people live as if they're guaranteed 1,000 tomorrows. They push their dreams aside, waiting for a better moment, a perfect time, a sign that the stars have aligned. But that perfect time never comes. Life doesn't wait for our convenience. It rewards action. It rewards those who decide to start before they're ready, who trust themselves enough to take that first imperfect step towards something more. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they settle. They allow fear to disguise itself as practicality, and they call their hesitation being realistic. But what's realistic about ignoring your potential? What's realistic about giving up before you even try? Playing small might feel safe, but it comes at a cost. You trade your passion for predictability, your ambition for acceptance, your authenticity for approval. And in the process, you lose the very spark that makes life worth living. The wake-up call comes quietly. Sometimes it's the moment you realize you've been living on repeat, doing the same things, talking about the same dreams, making the same excuses. Or maybe it's when you look at someone else living freely, creating boldly, achieving what you once believed was impossible, and you feel that tiny ache inside, the one that whispers, that could have been me. That ache is truth. It's your soul reminding you that you were meant for more than this. We've all been told to be grateful, and we should be. Gratitude grounds us. But gratitude should never become a reason to stay stuck. Being thankful for where you are doesn't mean you stop striving for what's next. You can be grateful and still hungry. You can love your life and still know that you're capable of more. That balance, between appreciation and ambition, is where growth happens. Life doesn't reward the ones who wait for permission. It rewards the ones who dare. The ones who refuse to live in almost. The ones who take the leap when others hesitate. There's something magnetic about people who know what they want and move toward it with purpose. They stand out. They set the tone. They remind the rest of us what's possible when you stop playing small and start living intentionally. It's not about being loud. It's about being clear. You don't have to announce your dreams to the world. You just have to pursue them relentlessly. Success isn't built overnight, it's. The truth is, every single one of us sets the tone for our own lives through the standards we keep. What you tolerate becomes your normal, and your normal defines your destiny. It's not the big moments that shape who you are, it's the small choices you make every day, the ones that no one sees. The way you talk to yourself in quiet moments. The effort you put in when no one's applauding. The expectations you set, not for the world, but for yourself. That's where greatness begins, not in public recognition, but in private discipline. Most people don't lack goals, they lack standards. They say they want success, but their actions reflect comfort. They want respect, but they settle for being liked. They want growth, but they're unwilling to give up old habits that keep them stuck. The truth is, your life will rise or fall to the level of your standards. You can't expect extraordinary results from ordinary effort. When you demand more from yourself, not out of pressure, but out of pride, everything changes. You begin to shift the way you show up. You start operating from excellence, not emotion. Raising your standards doesn't mean chasing perfection. It means refusing to accept less than your best. It means choosing consistency over convenience. It means being honest with yourself about where you've been playing small and deciding to stop negotiating with mediocrity. That negotiation, that little voice that says, it's okay to skip today, or you've done enough, that's what kills potential. The most successful people in any field aren't necessarily the most talented, they're the most disciplined. They hold themselves to a higher standard even when they don't feel like it. When you begin to live that way, something powerful happens, you gain clarity. You stop wasting energy trying to please everyone. You stop chasing validation. Because excellence doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. People notice when you move differently, when you speak with certainty, when you carry yourself with purpose. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's what happens when your actions start reflecting the person you know you're meant to become. But raising your standards requires courage. Because the moment you do, life will test you. People will test you. You'll face challenges designed to see if you really mean it. You'll be tempted to slip back into what's comfortable. That's the breaking point, the moment when most people quit. But if you hold firm, if you refuse to lower the bar just to make life easier, that's where transformation begins. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, every time you do the hard thing when it would be easier not to, you build character. You strengthen your identity. Think about it, the world rewards people who lead themselves well. Those who demand more from their own performance don't need to chase opportunities, opportunities find them. That's the quiet power of high standards. They create momentum. Comfort is seductive. It has a way of convincing you that you're safe when in reality, you're stuck. It whispers to you that staying where you are is easier, that trying something new is risky, that failure would be too painful to bear. And for a while, it feels right, it feels good. You tell yourself you're being smart, cautious, measured. But slowly, comfort begins to dull your hunger. It softens your drive. It turns ambition into routine and dreams into memories of what could have been. The hardest truth most people never face is that comfort is the enemy of growth. It doesn't destroy your life overnight, it does it quietly. It replaces challenge with repetition, adventure with predictability. It's disguised as peace, but it's really paralysis. The people who achieve extraordinary things in life aren't necessarily the ones with the most resources or opportunities, they're the ones who make peace with discomfort. They understand that growth and ease cannot coexist. You cannot evolve and stay comfortable at the same time. Every time you step into something unfamiliar, a new project, a new goal, a new version of yourself, there's a voice inside that says, asterisk, what if I fail? Asterisk, but there's another voice, softer but more powerful, that asks, asterisk, what if I fly? Asterisk, most people silence that second voice too soon. They convince themselves they'll take the leap later, when things feel more stable. But stability is an illusion. If you wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever. The most defining moments of your life will never happen in comfort zones. They'll happen in the moments when you're scared, uncertain, and doing it anyway. The first time you speak up when your voice shakes. The first time you chase an idea everyone else doubts. The first time you walk away from what's familiar to pursue what's right. That's where you grow. That's where you meet the version of yourself who's stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever realized. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Growth always is. But discomfort is not a punishment, it's preparation. It's life stretching you, shaping you, refining you for what's next. You learn more from the times you struggle than from the times you succeed. You build resilience in the challenges that test your patience, your belief, and your perseverance. Without resistance, you stay soft. Without discomfort, you never build strength. It's easy to admire people who've achieved greatness, but few realize how much discomfort it took to get there. Behind every success story is a trail of rejection, uncertainty, and failure. But they kept moving. They learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the ones who make it to the top aren't those who never feel fear, they're the ones who refuse to let fear decide their future. Think about the last time you took a risk. Maybe it was starting something new, walking away from something familiar, or standing up for yourself when it was easier to stay silent. Remember that rush. At the end of the day, what truly matters isn't how much you've earned, what you've owned, or how many people have known your name. What matters is the mark you've left behind, the way you made people feel, the lives you've touched, and the example you've set. Legacy isn't about applause, it's about impact. It's about living in such a way that long after you're gone, your presence is still felt in the hearts of others. The truth is, every single one of us is building a legacy right now, whether we realize it or not. Every decision, every action, every word adds another line to the story that will one day be told about us. The question is, will that story be one of purpose or of potential left unexplored? Too many people go through life believing that legacy is something reserved for the famous, the powerful, the extraordinary. But that's not true. Legacy is built by anyone who chooses to live intentionally. It's built by the mother who raises her children with integrity and love. By the teacher who inspires a student to believe they can do more. By the leader who treats every person with respect, no matter their title. It's built by the person who refuses to settle for mediocrity, who decides to live with conviction and courage, no matter how small the stage may seem. That's what makes a life meaningful, not the noise you make while you're here, but the echo you leave behind. When you understand that your life is part of something bigger than yourself, your choices begin to change. You start to move with more purpose. You think beyond the moment, beyond the temporary highs and the superficial wins. You stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. Because fulfillment doesn't come from having more, it comes from becoming more. It comes from knowing that what you do, who you are, and how you lead all matter, not just today, but in the story you're writing for the next generation. Every one of us has the power to shape the world around us in some way. The ripple effect of one act of courage, one moment of kindness, one bold decision can outlive you. But it starts with how you show up each day. Do you show up with intention, or are you just moving through the motions? Do you speak with integrity when it would be easier to stay silent? Do you lift others up when you could focus on yourself? Because every one of those choices defines your legacy. There's something deeply powerful about people who know who they are and what they stand for. They don't bend to trends or lose themselves in comparison. They stand firm in their values, even when it's inconvenient. That kind of strength inspires others. It creates movement. It changes culture. And the beautiful part is, it's contagious. When one person decides to live fully, to lead boldly, to rise above mediocrity, others begin to believe they can too. That's the quiet magic of a legacy-minded life. It multiplies. The world doesn't need more people trying to fit in. It needs more people brave and